Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we could continue going through my collection and just doing a deep dive, swatching everything out and just like playing the makeup, right? So we're doing highlighters today, if you couldn't tell. I've got palettes that have highlighters in them, and I also have like my little singles and my cream liquid highlighters over here. So we're gonna go through all this today. So I hope you're ready. If that sounds good to you, then just keep watching. Okay, I figured we could start with this little bin first. This is all we have in there. So I have 3 different cream liquid formulas. I guess you could consider this like a cream formula. It's more like putty, and then the Kaja is also more of a putty formula. So let's start with this. This is a little mini of the Benefit High Beam. It is High Beam, right? I think. Oh no, it's not High Beam. What am I thinking? This is the Watts Up. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little swatch of it on my hand here for you guys. And that's what it looks like. This thing has been through it. I've had this little sample for not too long, but you can see the packaging is super beat up. She is well loved and well used. And the color you see is like a champagne-y gold. It's got like a hint of pink in it, but it's icy and I like it. The next one I want to talk about is this. This is a Novelist Skin Glazing. It's an independent, no, this is Privilege. Independence is the blush color. But I love this. It's like a champagne with a pink shift. It's so, so pretty. I'm going to swatch that right beside the Watts Up. And see that? It's just so gorgeous. And I just love how these powders sit on the skin. They're just like, they have this smoothing quality, guys. They're great. And if you watched my blush video, I definitely want to get all of these. I want to collect them. They're so good. And next up we have this Master Chrome from Maybelline. This is in Molten Gold. I have used this one quite a bit as well. It's one of my most used drugstore products. You can see that shade right there. Much more gold than the other ones. Much, much more. Moving right along, we have this ColourPop Super Shock Cheek. This is in Stole the Show. This is the only one that I have from them. I've really debated and gone back and forth between getting more. But placing a ColourPop order really is just like such a hassle, and the shipping takes so incredibly long that if it's not something that's available at Ulta from them, I'm really not even interested. And even then, I really have to go out of my way. And I don't like having to do that. But I love this. It's like a platinum icy gold. And let's do this one next. This is a Shades by Shan, and it's in Irma. I know this one's real goldy. This is what it looks like. I got this through like an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm. I've used it once. I'm just going to swatch it right here. It's not as like impactful as the other ones. It's a lot more subtle. Like you can see these ones are super reflective, super blinding. And then this one, not quite as much. This right here, guys, the Vive Skin Dew. This is my favorite highlighter right now. I cannot even begin to say. It's just so good. It's beautiful. It's this golden color, but it's like, the color is so universal. There it is right there. You can see the difference. It's way more shiny, catching way more light than the one beside it. It's so, so pretty. I use this one a lot. Next, let's do this Rare Beauty one. This one is in Transcend. And this is the pinky one. I really like this formula from Rare Beauty. I really am not opposed to picking up more shades. It's like a liquid metal. And if you want to share them out too, you definitely can. But you can build these up and make them super intense, and it dries down so it doesn't leave a tack or a stick on your face. And it's similar with the Skin Dew. That also dries down, but that is not as like high impact as this one. These Rare Beauty ones you can really do some stuff with over here. And lastly, in these little singles, we have this Kaja Mochi Highlight or Mochi Glow. And this is in 3 Luna. And even though I got the 3rd shade, honestly, I don't know if it's this formula or if it's the color I got, but I don't know, man. It's just, it's not the vibe. It's just like so soft, like you can barely tell it's there. I'm really gonna have to use this as like an eyeshadow topper or like a single one look shadow when I just have nothing else to do and I'm just running errands to use this up, because I have tried to use it on my face multiple times, and as you can see, it's swatched right there beside the Rare Beauty one. You can't even see it. It's like not catching any light really, it's not really reflecting. It's super, super subtle, and I mean, if you're into that, more power to you. But when I buy a highlighter, I would like to be able to control if it's going to be intense or if it's going to be subtle. And this, it just doesn't let me build it up to what I would like. Let's move on to this face palette situation, shall we? Okay, all my palettes don't fit in frame, so we're just gonna roll with it. I'm gonna scoot them back out of frame and stack them. Okay, let's start with this one, a classic, a cult favorite, the Sweet Peach Glow palette from Too Faced. As you can see, mine is well loved and used, and I am thinking about putting this in a project pan for 2022, but I haven't decided yet. This is the highlighter from the palette. It's so pretty. It's like a champagne pink, and it's right here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna swatch these on the inside of my arm. Yeah, I'm gonna do that since we ran out of space. She's right here. Super soft and pretty, but you can build it up, and it has more opacity than that Kaja one. Moving along, I have this one from Kai Press. I got this in, I think, a BoxyCharm. It says it's an all shimmer palette for eyes and body, but I would probably just use this for highlight. I'd probably only use these 2 shades and the rest for eyeshadow. So let me swatch the 2 shades I would use for a highlighter. Okay, I ended up swatching out 3 of the shades. The gold one here, this pink, and then this like platinum icy white. And these other 2, those are not highlighters for me. Most definitely would use those for eyeshadows. Do you want to swatch this real quick? Oh, that's pretty. That could be a very pretty one shadow look. Let's go into this Hip Dot palette. This is the Sun Goddess palette from them. And there are 3 shades in here that I use as highlight. I use this one as a blush. So this is not as like blinding of a highlight. This is more of like something I use very sparingly, more as like a blush topper highlight situation. That's the shade Radiance down there. Then let's swatch out these two, Golden Hour and Sheer. That's what those look like. Looking at these swatches and these swatches on my hand, you can definitely tell that I have a type for my highlighters. Now, this bad boy, she is loved, beat up. I used to use this to put lash glue on. I've used this thing for a lot. And she is well loved, well used. I don't really use it anymore. It's probably expired. It doesn't feel dry, which is interesting. Maybe it is still good. But I don't know if I would use these shades anymore. They're a lot more glittery than the stuff that I'm really into these days. Just trying to do them in order. I don't know why I did some mishap over here with my fingers. But I loved this palette for a very long time. I used her for a very long time. And now it just really sits in my collection for memories. I mean, I don't even know if ABH still sells this thing or not, but this was like one of the OG highlighter palettes from them. And I keep it really now just for nostalgia. These were the good old days. And you can see them swatched right there. So pretty, so glittery though. And that was like the main gripe about this big glow kit palette, and this one in particular. When they released it, it was just the shades were so chunky and so glittery. Now let's move along, shall we? I have this Pixie and Promise palette, and in here it has 2 highlight shades. And the rest are like setting powders, contour, bronzery things. So let's go ahead and swatch out these 2 highlight shades. One I wouldn't use personally as a highlight. This one I think this is too dark for me even when I'm super tan. It's so gold. So that's probably going to be more of an eyeshadow for me. But maybe not. Maybe if I sheared it out. But it's like a true gold. These powders are so smooth. Nobody really talks about Pixie complexion products that much. Okay, right here we have the 2 shades from the Pixie palette swatched out. I don't know why more people don't talk about Pixie complexion products. Really? Like, those powders felt so good. Like, swatching them, so smooth, so buttery. Maybe the shades aren't particularly the best for me, but they felt nice. I'm definitely going to try them out and see how it works. Moving along, last but not least, this NARS palette. It's the Orgasm on the Beach Cheek palette. When I tell you I ran to go get this thing when it was released, I ran. Like, they had to go pull it out of the back for me. It wasn't even on display yet. Okay, so first off is this shade right here, which is Turtle Bay, and then this shade I believe is called Naples. I use Naples more than Turtle Bay. I'm just going to swatch them on my hand right here. These highlights are so blinding and smooth and just like liquid metal. Very similar formula to that Nabla powder, like a baked gelée. And I find that those formulas are definitely my favorite when it comes to powdered highlights. I hope you guys have had fun with me sitting down and going through all of these highlighters, swatching everything out, and doing a deep dive with me. and I hope that I've inspired you to do a deep dive as well, whether you're gonna just go through your collection and see what you have, try to revive some old products that maybe don't get as much use anymore, or you're just doing, you know, your yearly declutter as most of us do at this time. The reason why I wanted to do a deep dive into my collection and show you guys everything and swatch everything out was really to like put all of my collection into perspective for myself, so I can see all the products that I actually have to work with, and I can see what I'm using, what I'm not using. It's right here in my face, and I can be more mindful and use up the products that I've spent my money on. And I hope that I've been able to inspire you to go through your collection as well. But I hope you had a good time. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel. I do all kinds of beauty stuff. And also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked it. But until next time, guys. Bye.